Hey, this is Divya. So thrilled to be here with you, ladies. So, we talked about yes, how can you get your customers to say yes to you? Or how can you have somebody looking at your profile and saying, you know what, this is the person I want to work with? Or how do you get that prospect to even know about you, that you exist? So, there are so many questions and everything can be answered by the customer's journey. The key is to knowing the customer's journey. And like, I'm sure that each and every one of you is aware of the customer's journey. So basically, what customer's journey is that you take your problem, you take your business, you take everything and pull everything together. So now imagine that let's say there is a business owner, Sarah. I'm going to talk about one of my clients, and her business is about helping people heal, go through the trauma and help them heal. So now the first step of the journey is that not everybody's going to know Sarah. And why is that? Because since pandemic, online world has exploded, folks. And when I say online world has exploded, there's so many startups that are springing. There are so many people leaving corporate world and starting their own businesses, and which is awesome. And at the same time, it presents a problem where the market is super crowded, where there is a lot of noise. And how do you rise above this noise? So it's about connecting with your customer from the time they don't know about you to the time that they get to know you, to the time they become your client, and then what happens even after they have become a client. So let's go back to Sarah. So Sarah is a healer, and her customer is a female, a passion-driven female, very strong, very purpose-driven, who is between 30 to 35. And she has experienced trauma in her life. And because of that trauma, the fear rises in her. She doubts herself. She experiences imposter syndrome, where she's asking questions. I don't know how to do this. Who am I to do it? Who's going to listen to me? I'm not experienced enough. I don't know where to begin. So there are multiple thoughts that are running, which is what's happening in the mindset, especially her inner critic is playing a very strong game. So now Sarah is, okay, how do I move forward? So let's just kind of continue with Sarah's journey. So Sarah has to do 7 to 8 stages. The first step is awareness. And when we talk about awareness is that there are a lot of people who live through their lives not knowing what problems do they have. So people live with imposter syndrome, and sometimes it becomes the comfort zone. It becomes the crutch that people need. Oh, I cannot do this, so I can start a business. Oh, I've got no knowledge, I cannot do it. So when people get stuck, and when people are using their excuses and stories as crutches, they can't move forward. So the first step is to help people, not everyone, but your ideal prospect, become aware that they have a problem. So that's the awareness stage. And how can you do that? It is about providing value. It's about doing webinars, doing Facebook Lives, doing summits, going on podcasts. You can write value posts, you can do storybook reels. There are multiple ways in different mediums which you can share your knowledge. And when somebody is reading your post, And if it's your ideal prospect, where you're describing, where you're just talking about the awareness. So for example, we are going to talk about Sarah's message over here. Sarah would say something like that. Are you struggling to move forward in your life? Are you stuck where the stories in your head hold you back and keep in your comfort zone? Are you stuck where you have tried different things and are not able to move the dial? So when she is using her messaging from that perspective, her prospect customer will know, yeah, that's me. I'm stuck. I am really hearing these stories. My inner critic is rampant and my negative self-talk is pulling me down. And in this stage, Sarah is talking about that if you don't address this issue, then what are the consequences? You're not able to move forward. You're not able to become the best version. You're not able to unleash your potential. You're not able to have healthy relationships. You're not able to have good health. You're not able to live a joyous, fulfilled life. You're not able to make a difference as much as you can when your mind is clear and you are your best version. So in the awareness stage, what is happening is that the prospect realizes, oh my goodness, I have a problem. And if I don't do something about it, I'm not living my best life. So now what you do is you move your prospect to the next stage. And in the next stage is, as you keep on sharing, whether it's testimonials or you keep on sharing your own story, that how when you were stuck, what happened, and then you declared an intention. I am willing to change. I'm going to do something about it. You're making that decision to doing something about that being stuck or whatever the problem is. So we are going to stick to Sarah's story. So Sarah is now sharing with her community her intentions. She is bringing on her clients who are sharing their intentions. So the prospect realizes, yeah, I've got a problem and I got to do something about it, because if I do something about it, my life will change. So this phase is called intent phase, where now the client has set an intention that they want to do something about their problem. They want to do something about the challenge they're facing. And after they have set an intent, what happens is they are looking for additional support, in the sense like, what is out there? How can I solve my problem? So now once they have that intention, they move towards the interest. And in the interest stage, they are going to be looking for different problems. Like, okay, let me see if there are any communities out there. If there are other people who are experiencing the same thing. And then they start going and exploring different options. What's available? Who is suffering from the similar problem? Who is experiencing a similar challenge? What are people doing about it? So in this stage, what you can share is you are able to share different ways that people can solve their problems. So do you see, folks, how we are doing the messaging for each stage? If you talk differently, let's say if you're talking about, oh, buy my program, and if a person doesn't even know that they have a problem, they will just skim through your content. So what's important is that you write the content for each stage, and then you'll be able to catch up with customers or prospects in those stages, because you will have customers in all different stages. Okay, so now customers are exploring if there are any solutions. The next stage is evaluation. And when we talk about evaluation is, all right, there is this solution, there is this book, there is this podcast, there is this course, there is this program, there is this mastermind. What works for me? And during the evaluation stage, people are thinking, I have an intention to buy, but what will work for me? Will this be in my budget? Will this work for me? Has it worked for somebody else before? So there's so many questions. And in this stage, the answer to that question is answering their questions as to why you are the preferred choice. What is it about your product that works to resolve their situation? What is about your service, your coaching, your online course, whatever you're offering? What is it that's going to move the dial for them? What is it that's going to help them the life they deserve? What is it that's going to help them make those 6 figures or 7 figures or high 5 figures? What is it that's going to help them live those relationships to the fullest? What is it that's going to have them those rich, deep, meaningful life? What is it that's going to give them the best tools and plan and support to achieve their goals? So now as you keep on sharing, people who are evaluating will resonate with your solution if they're the right customer and if they're the right person that you're talking to. Now they have evaluated and they're interested, like, okay, I really like this. I like Sarah. Sarah is a great healer. She has gone through trauma herself. She has helped other people. So now after evaluation comes the next stage, where now they're, okay, I'm definitely in. So this is the in stage. And here's where the road meets the rubber. You gotta share how people can connect with you during the evaluation stage. So your call to action is going to be different. So for example, we will go back to each call to action for each stage. So in your evaluation stage, you invite them to attend your Facebook Lives, your masterclass, your webinars, your joining your Facebook group. It can be so many different things. And as a result, you are becoming closer to them. You're building that bond, you're building that trust, regardless wherever it is at email. And then as you talk and when they're in that in stage, now it moves towards conversation. Now they are educated, so they've become aware. So let's just kind of take a look at the whole process again. So you are making the prospect aware of their problems. Once they have become aware of their problem, they are definitely wanting to solve that problem. And once they want to solve that problem, they make a commitment that, yes, I'm going to change. So now they start exploring and evaluating different options as to what will work really the best for them. And once they have evaluated, then they're looking at, like, is this pricing right for my budget? Then it becomes more of a logistical issue. Will this work for me? Will this person be the right mentor or be the right guide or be the right coach to change my life? And here's where you kind of get into conversations or have masterclass where you're talking about or have videos. And you talk about easy steps. Step number 1, this is, let's say you can have a very small offering that I have a guide when somebody's not fully ready. So yes, they've made the evaluation, they're ready to purchase. So when you're offering that small offering, it's an easy yes. People will say yes to you. Now they have experienced your e-guide. And as they've experienced your e-guide, they have seen the results for themselves. Yeah, this really helped. I really like her techniques. It helped me go from feeling a low 3. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 feeling the best, 1 feeling the worst. So let's say a client is at 3. They get your guide. It just, let's say it's at $9.99 or $7.99. And they start feeling a 4 or a 5. They're really thrilled. Your e-guide helps them see that you have an online course. So once you have an online course, they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm feeling 5. I want to try it more. Now they take your online course, or it could be a group coaching program. They go from, let's say, 5 to 7. Now they either want to be desirous of working with you one-on-one, or they want to be that VIP client. So as they're experiencing you, as they're experiencing the transformation, it becomes very easy for them to say yes to you. And why is that? Because you understand them. You understand where they are at every phase of the journey. Because what you've done is, even during the purchase program, you have made it super easy. So when people are ready to buy, make the checkout super easy. Make it very, very easy for them, so they don't have to go and find out like, okay, where is the link? How do I pay? Then you can create payment plans, because not everybody may have the budget within that month. Now, another thing that may happen is like, okay, I want community. So depending on the program you're offering, be sure to address every need of your client in that stage. And when you do that, I guarantee you, folks, people will say yes to you. So let me ask you this. If I were to tell you, today I can guarantee X, Y, and Z within so and so time without any risk to you, I bet you would say yes. So that's what you got to do with your clients as well. Not only that, once they have purchased your program, be sure that you help your clients succeed. It's not just about getting the money in the door. The proof in the pudding lies. The main thing starts right after they have purchased. You're there for them. You hold their hand step by step. You help them build the tools that they need, the plans that they need, the healing that they deserve. So going back to Sarah's example. So as soon as people sign up, Sarah sends them a welcome note, a beautiful, warm welcome note. And from there, through her programs, whether it is her ebook, or whether it's her online course, or whether it is her group coaching program, or her mastermind, or VIP, or one-on-one, everywhere she's there with them. She makes sure that they succeed. And when that happens, so even after purchase, that's the time they say yes to referring to other people. You don't even have to ask them. Because when people experience transformation, they want to create an impact. They want to make a difference. So now let's take a look at call to action. As to every stage, what call to action would be really good? So let's say we talked about how to create a problem. So one of the best ways to create a call to action is asking questions. So one of my clients, he helps out people with loans for houses. So his call to action to create awareness was, what if you could be saving money And he usually puts a figure like, what if you could be saving 20% money? Or what if you could make 20% more money? Even though people say this is the wrong time to buy houses. So he gets people to start thinking. So when he's asking questions, the call to action over here is for people to think, do I have a problem? Should I buy a house when everybody's saying that this is not the right time to buy the house? So the call to action for the first step we talked about is educating people, creating the awareness that they have a problem, is to get them to think. The next is to have them want to change their situation. And during this time, the call to action is that, are you going to remain stuck? Are you just going to be making 5 figures that you have been making for past 10 years? So helping them realize the consequence that if they don't change the situation, then things will not change. So for example, if you stay in your comfort zone, nothing's going to change, folks. You could say, oh gosh, I can't do it. Now, of course, there are different situations. So for example, if your knees hurt and if you cannot run, then you don't run. But then your goals change and your goal would be different. So then the definition of healthy is like, okay, or the definition of your exercise is, I'm going to be able to walk for 30 minutes 3 times a day, or 3 times a week, or 5 times a week. So you change the goals, but the key is that, like, now if you're not even walking, then you gain weight. So forget about running, you couldn't run. Now, because you're gaining weight, you'll not even be able to walk, and it could cause so many other problems. So in the second phase, your call to action is for them to create that intention that, yes, I'm ready to change. And then in the third is that you showcase for them in a way that they start exploring different options. So for example, like, somebody may say like, all right, I will give an example for Sarah. So in Sarah's case, she said, like, you can go with somebody and work with someone for 6 months and you're not going to experience the transformation. You come and work with me for 4 months and I guarantee the transformation. So here you're inviting your prospects to explore different options. That's the call to action. And when they're exploring options, the goal is for you to create that call to action that they explore your option as well. And now you're gently building the trust. You're providing value at every stage, every phase of the customer journey. All right, so now they're ready to make a purchase. So now you share with them, you answer all their questions, you take away the risk that I'm here to support you and here are my guarantees. And this is what's going to help you achieve your goals. So make it easy for them to purchase. So the call to action is, yes, purchase. Why? Because I've taken away all the risks. I'm owning the risks and I'm here to support you. And then the call to action for post-purchase is to achieve transformation, to succeed. You get them all gung-ho, you get them excited and help them reach the finish line. And of course, folks, you may say like, but there are some clients who are not ready. So in those cases, folks, there's no one size fits all. In some cases, people are ready to roll. And that's where it's important to understand your audience. Who do you want as a client? Are you okay to work with people who don't want to change? Are you okay to not make a difference? So that's up to you to sit and decide, who do I want to work with? Who is my ideal client avatar? Super, super important. Because if you don't know who you're talking to, then the message is going to be very general and it will get diluted. It will not speak to people. So how do you get your prospect to say yes to you, it is by understanding the customer. Currently, what are the pain points? What are they thinking about? What is it that keeps them awake at night? What are the keywords that they're searching for on Google? And then multiple other things. And from there, where is your prospect at every stage of the customer journey, and speaking to them in the language at that phase. Because if you ask a customer who's not even aware that they have a problem and you say, oh, come buy my program, they're not going to buy it. So super important, folks, to have those journey phases very, very clear in your head and mapping it out, mapping your messaging to every step of the journey. So I hope, folks, this has provided you a lot of value. And once you start doing it, you will find that people will not only say yes to you, but people will seek you out. Because I'll share with you one of the ways that I do, where I take people from being aware to the post-purchase stage, is through my books. Because I've got a platform where, with chapter to chapter, you can do that. So if you're interested in learning how you can tailor your messaging, how you can position yourself at every step of the customer's journey, because it's important for you to position yourself as the trusted leader. Not only position, once you have positioned, beyond that comes the messaging. The messaging is such that people see you, yes, at every stage. This person knows what they're talking about. This is the thought leader that I want to work with. Only then, when you have done all of this, then it becomes super easy for the customer to say yes to you, because they have formed that trusted connection with you. So folks, if you're ready to do that, DM us. And I and my team are here to fully support you and help you succeed and bring transformation in other people's lives. Until next week, thank you for joining us. So appreciate you, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.